What's going on, everybody? This is Zach with Strictly Shisha. So the guys over at Shishabucks, well, the engineers over at Shishabucks have been talking about this tiny little hookah for such a long time. It's called the Cloud Tank. And I've been hearing rumors about this pipe. They've been developing it for a long time. And I was finally excited to get it in the mail. And they sent me this tiny little box. And I was like, the tank, I'm assuming it's big, it's gigantic, it's beefy, it's a tank, you know, kind of similar to even the Fumo tank. It's got some stature to it. But I got this little box in the mail and I opened it up, and to my surprise, it was all of the hookah in that little tiny box. So this thing is tiny, substantially smaller than the Cloud Micro. This thing should be called the Nano, but it smokes like a tank, so maybe that's where they derive the name from. So quite impressed by this tiny little thing. Definitely goes up against the B2 Reapers, the Viros, those micro-sized hookahs that would be great for traveling. And man, this thing is tiny, but it's got a lot packed into it, and it's very impressive. So let me tell you guys a little bit about it. So typically when you get to hookahs of this stature, you have to make sacrifices in terms of smokability for that portability. They're just smaller, they tend to flood, they smoke warmer, they just have more restriction. It's just tiny little parts, and it just doesn't give you that same experience as a full-size pipe. But I'm telling you, throughout my testing of this pipe, never once did I look over at a full-size MIG and be like, man, I just wish I was smoking that thing. I enjoyed every single session out of this little beast. I mean, it's so amazing. This might be one of my favorite pipes from Shishabucks. It seems like the smaller they go, the better they smoke. I'm not a giant fan of those really big ones, but I found the Micro smokes great. The Mini, a little less. The bigger ones, not as much. These tiny ones just rip. And I think it's all due to the engineering of Shishabucks and all the thought that they put into these tiny little pipes. So this is definitely going to replace the Micro as my new travel pipe of choice. And even a nice desktop pipe. I would not be mad to smoke this on a daily basis. It just rips, and it's very, very enjoyable. Of course, in classic Shishabucks fashion, it's highly engineered. It's got this anodized aluminum acrylic base, so you don't have to worry about it cracking when you're traveling. What I love most about this pipe is its horizontal nature. It's very stable. So if I'm in a hotel room or at the beach and things are getting a little rowdy, I'm not worried about it knocking over. Sometimes with those tiny little skinny hookahs that are just so short, you have a nice heavy hose and you're worried about knocking over because they're a little top heavy. With this, it feels firmly planted, has the rubberized legs around the corner here, so it fits really securely on the table. So I love the design of this pipe. You have the horizontal hose port here, you have soft touch silicone, you have a hose handle that feels nice. It's not super cheap feeling. Oh, everything about this pipe, I'm telling you, it's just a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids tiny little hookah that just performs like an excellent large hookah. Everything can fit inside the base here, so when you're traveling, throw this in a backpack, throw it in a purse if you're a woman. It's that small. You could probably hook this thing up to a fanny pack and you'd be good to go. So the size on this thing is amazing. The engineering is great. Has a built-in diffuser into the downstem. It's quiet, it's smooth. Oh, it just works so well. Let's show you guys a few clouds. Would you expect that kind of performance out of this tiny little thing? I mean, the thing just rips, and it's smooth. Like I said, you have the diffuser, you have the small voluminous base, so it rips those really nice, dense, thick clouds. In terms of the pull and the draw on this pipe, it's a little more restricted than the Micro. It's probably more similar to a KM, but I find the restriction to be quite enjoyable. And there even is a backflow BB in the bottom of that downstem, and I'm sure you could remove that if you want to increase the flow even more, but I'm happy with the way it is. It does have restriction, but it's that nice restriction where you can kind of feel the pull in combination with that really small base. Like I said, yields to really nice, dense, thick clouds. And what are the clouds made of? I am smoking some Zomo Lemon Mint in a mason gravel bowl. Of course, I am using Prestige Charcoal as always in a Provost. And check out the Provost. Look at that comparison in size compared to this hookah. You can see how small it is. Most of the bulk is coming from the bowl itself. Even the hose handle, it's nice and small. Of course, it all unscrews. You coil all this up and throw it in here, and it's so tiny and ready to travel. This thing just makes me want to travel. So with the coronavirus, I can't go anywhere. But if I could, I would take this pipe with me because it's that cool. The only criticisms I have of this pipe, and these are things that other people said as well, the recommended water line here is a little bit off, but when do I follow rules? When do I follow recommended water line? So I keep mine just a little bit above the Shishabucks wording here, and it seems to work great for me. Of course, you could lower down a little bit more if you want to open up that restriction, but I like it the way it is right now to get those nice, dense, thick clouds. In addition, everything on this pipe is sealed with gaskets. I love that about it. The whole top part here is fully sealed around. There's even a double layer in the corner here to fit nicely into the base. There's also one that seals the downstem, which is tiny. It's a tiny little downstem. I mean, even my is bigger. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, even my finger is bigger than that downstem. So it's tiny, so it doesn't take a lot to squeeze it in there, but it does wobble a little bit in the bottom of that base plate here. But in all of my testing, it has never fallen out. I've jiggled this thing around, I've moved it around, I've played with it a little bit, and never has that downstem actually fallen out. It does just wiggle a little bit though. So just to let you guys know what to expect when you get one. But like I said, it fits in there pretty securely. The last bit of criticism is not necessarily about this particular hookah, it's just small hookahs in general. They tend to smoke a little bit warmer, but it also means they need less heat. So this hookah does not need as much heat to really billow those clouds. What I have noticed though is a little bit of flavor loss. It's just not as pronounced as you get with a taller pipe. So this is not my hookah of choice when I'm testing out flavors for you guys, but I'm telling you, the flavor loss is very minimal. This lemon mint is still delicious. I just know if I pack this in a larger stature hookah, it would taste just a little bit crisper, a little less muddled than it does in this current pipe right now. But that's more so due to the size and not the hookah itself. So I want to show you guys the Purge real quick. There are no external purges protruding from the outside of this unit, which I love. It's all integrated right here underneath the bowl, and it does have a vertical style purge, which is pretty cool and the latest trend in purges. So of course, Cloud decided to go with one of those, and it works really well. So let's demonstrate that right now. Look at that. All the smoke is expelled from the base, like 100% of it, and it just looks pretty awesome doing it, and it's pretty effortless. So I love the Purge on this. I'll show you guys one more time. Nice full bass. You guys ready? Also, the next thing, and this is more to Shishabucks, if you guys are watching this, you guys market this as a travel hookah, and your micro does come with a really awesome, high quality travel bag, but this one doesn't. I'm sure you guys already know this. You definitely need to include a travel bag with this, with a handle, so cute, so you can throw this in your carry-on luggage, or whatever may have you, in your trunk somewhere, so you can take this with you guys. So definitely need to include a bag with this, and if you could keep it at the same price point, I would definitely appreciate that. Also, I always go traveling and I always forget my tongs. So what I would love, and these are from Social Smoke, I got these probably like 10 years ago, very, very long time ago, is a micro set of tongs. Look at these, look how cute they are. It would be so cool, Shishabucks, if you guys developed a set of tongs like this that just kind of slipped into the bag, or even a little holster here, so you'd be good to go. Look at that just fits perfectly. They had a little holster here for your tongs, so every time you need to travel, they're ready to go for it here. You don't forget them like I always do. Tongs are what I forget the most, and I gotta finagle some chopsticks and fork and a knife, and oh, it's the worst, and that's how I end up burning carpets in hotels. So this would be so cool if they could attach a little set of tongs here, so you could manipulate your coals to your liking, or even have a little holster slot inside the bag. But that's my only feedback on having a bag and having some tongs. But other than that, this thing is a rock star, slam dunk, 10 out of 10. I love it, and I highly recommend it to you guys. I would definitely say, if you're choosing between a Viro and this, I have very limited experience with the Viro. I've smoked it a few times, but due to the nature and the horizontal stature of this pipe, I like this a lot more. I think they both smoke equally great, but I think that I don't have to worry about this one falling over as much, so I would choose this. In terms of the B2 Reaper, I think this thing has a beat. The fact that you can pack all this stuff inside the base, it's acrylic, you don't have to worry about it breaking, it's just a smaller stature setup. I would go with this over the B2 Reaper, and they're all similar price point. The last one I'm gonna compare to is the Genie from Zara. Yeah, so that one is quite larger in comparison. That one smokes a little bit more like a traditional hookah, a little more open flow. But if you're gonna go something that small, you might as well go even smaller or just go bigger. So it's kind of in a weird middle state. I would much rather have this. So I love it. I hope you guys should check it out. If they can keep the price point at around $100 with all these accessories, a bag and everything, I definitely recommend you guys pick one up. If you have one, definitely let me know what you guys think. And of course, feel free to comment below with whatever nonsense you guys want to comment below with. I'm always happy to read them and sometimes respond. But until then, I'll see you guys on the next video, and I definitely appreciate your time hanging out with me today and watching this little pipe. But until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.